Hey there, LEGO fans and library lovers. It's me, Blair Archer, welcoming you into the Brix LEGO studio for another exciting and educational element exploration. Let's take a look inside the LEGO Ideas Head and see what kind of cool stuff we're going to be working on today. Ooh, what's this? A beautiful little flower. With spring just around the corner and flowers starting to come up all over the place, let's take a look at how we can brick build LEGO flowers just like this one. Because when you pick a flower, it doesn't last very long, but when you brick a flower, it can last forever. Join me at the building desk and let's get cracking. Come on. It seems only fitting that we take a look at LEGO's excellent flower bouquet set from their Botanicals line for some amazing techniques on how to build a variety of awesome flowers. One thing that becomes immediately apparent is that the LEGO designers have given us some incredible recolors of these LEGO elements. For example, these Technic connectors in dark green, as well as loads of parts in this light nougat color for creating the roses. Let's take a look at how some of them go together. One especially cool piece that we get in a new color are all these extra long Technic cross axles in sand green. These are going to be extremely useful for creating our stems. If you're working in a similar style at home, you could use a piece of flexible tubing or several cross axles connected together in order to achieve some of the similar techniques for your flower stems. These daisies are going to use bar and clip underneath in order to give us an organic trifecta of flowers. We're seeing the awesome rounded plate with open studs used to create repeating petal shapes with rounded geometry to give ourselves these very lifelike small flowers. The flexibility of this element is just so endlessly useful because it allows you to swivel in place without running into a bunch of right angles like you typically would with other LEGO bricks. And you finish it off with a round tile. These are going to look so awesome. When it comes to these flowers, repetition is the name of the game. You can see that we've built 3 little daisies here and they look super cute. They're going to have us build 3 more to go with our set. It is a bouquet after all. That makes these not only realistic in that they have parts repeating over and over again, but just like in real life, with these flowers, with their multitudes of similar pieces, this set has tons of repeating elements. That makes this really great as a parts pack, no matter what you're building, not just for flowers. Now let's take a look at building the roses, when we get to use all of these amazing light nougat colored pieces. Some of these have been used exclusively as vehicle elements in the past. This one was a wheel well for the front of a small car. For the roses, they have us start off with these beautifully recolored steering wheels in dark green. The steering wheel is actually a bar connection all the way around, so we'll probably be using some pretty cool clip connections to create our petal arrangement. Then we add a core of these tan bracket elements to start creating the color mixing for the center petals. The next piece here goes together with this one snot brick or stud snot on top as the center. We sometimes call this a Travis brick. It has studs on all sides except the bottom. And the center of the rose here could actually be a tiny little flower all in its own. As you can see, it has a great look to it. And you could stick this on top of a Technic pin connection or a stud and create tiny little buds for maybe a tree or some tiny wildflowers. But they're actually going to have us put it right in the center here. Give this beautiful look to the middle of the rose. Next we start to add in the light nougat pieces, and like we expected, they are going to have us use a clip connection to hold on to that steering wheel. And when we add 4 of them in a perfect arrangement around the center, they line up ever so nicely. The once were car parts go on the exact same way and simply clip onto the steering wheel, giving us our outer petals. Now for this flower, we actually are going to go beyond using just the Technic cross-axle stem. They're actually going to have us build one up with these. So the cross-axle stems are going to go together by connecting them like so. Looks like we're going to get to use this piece again for some of the leaves on the side. One thing they're going to make good use of here is this awesome connection. You can put the bar directly in any of the plus-shaped cross-axle holes. So those connections are pretty tight. They stick right on down in there and get you a good grip. And that's how they're going to have us connect to this full-length stem. Ooh, this I really like. They're having us add some thorns to the stem, and so we're using the 1x1 round plate with open hole, and that connects right into the side of the Technic right here. But instead of going in this way to the outside, we're using these cattle horn pieces through the other end of the Technic and directly into the stud. So that way it becomes a shorter thorn, which looks super awesome and realistic. It's a little bit of a tight connection to get it in there, but what an awesome result. That looks just like a real thorny rose stem. And here we have the completed rose, looking stunning with the addition of an awesome pteranodon wing for a dangling leaf. Taking a look at the instructions for some of the other plants, it's clear to see that we're going to be continuing to work with lots of bar and clips through the rest of this set. I don't want to spoil the whole thing for you in case you ever want to check this one out, but it's just really fun to see that using repeating bar elements and lots of clip pieces to connect our cascading series of blossoms to create some of these other flowers is super awesome. Another thing I wanted to show you is their techniques for creating some more leaves. Again, getting some lovely recolors of some of these bionicle armor pieces. And then there's another leaf here that's really unique. This one using one of the large slopes as well as some more bar and clip to connect to the Technic cross axle. And then finally the thistle flowers going on again in this bar and clip formation. Loads of these little purple clips to connect each one of these 3 leaf pieces in this lovely array around those same steering wheel parts. Now let's take a look at how we can build some flowers on our own using some pretty simple pieces that you can find in your own collection. If you have one of the make and take kits, this will be the time where you're going to want to get your parts out, and we're going to go over them now as I show you how we can assemble this awesome little flower. It's a fairly simple build, even though it does turn out a beautiful little flower. We start with our round plate here, just as a simple base. And what we're going to do is we're going to begin by building a tower out of our snot bricks, or studs not on top bricks here. So these 1x1 snot bricks in this sand green color are super organic looking, and what you do is you put them on going around in a spiral. So you attach one, and then another, and then another, and then another, and then another. And once you have your stack together, that's how we're going to connect some of our little clips on the sides. So we take our clips and we're going to put them onto the side like this. And then we're going to go down the rest of it and put clips on each one of those as we make our way to the bottom, except the last one. So we're going to leave that one open. And then you're going to take the little telescope piece and we're going to put that on top here. This is a nice sand green one to match our stem, but you can use all kinds if you have a different color of it at home or if you want to build directly onto this top brick. And then we're going to use a couple of pieces to make the flower bud at the top. So again, we're going to use some more snot bricks here. We're going to use 2 of this 1x1 brick with studs on the side, but they're on opposite sides. It's a pretty cool piece, and it's really great when you need to build in 2 different directions, or in this case, we're going to build in 4 directions by stacking 2 of them right on top of each other. So some stuff can go this way, some stuff can go this way. And since we have the parts going in opposite directions, they'll be able to sit next to each other without touching. And then on top we're going to put the 1x1 round plate in this orange to give a little bit of essence of like pistils on the inside or maybe some pollen gathered up in the middle there. And then you take 4 slope pieces. We're going to use these 1x3 slopes in this lovely dark pink sort of magenta color. And then you're going to put them on the sides, each side. So they're not going to be exactly even because the studs are slightly offset from one another, which is great because when you're working with a flower, you know, nature isn't 100% perfect all the time. It's kind of nice to have things be a little less even. It helps break up the perfect edges of our Lego bricks, which are very square most of the time. And then this piece is going to go right on top of our flower there, and these 1x2 half bow slopes are going to sit in these clips here. So they're kind of like a minifig hand, and minifigs can hold a tile piece if you stick it in at an angle there, and then you just tilt it back until it clicks. And so we'll put those on opposite sides of our little flower here. And then when you're all done, you can pop it on your base, and you can give it as a gift, or you can have it as a nice little display, or you can make a whole bunch of them and make a lovely field of flowers for your Lego world. And of course, a lot of those pieces can get pretty complex, and some of them can be kind of rare, but don't forget that you can always make a flower out of even the most simple Lego pieces, including just basic plates, as long as you have some sort of a base to mount it on. So here I've taken a whole bunch of those 1x2 plates with the open holes in the rounded sides, created a little circle, and I'm just going to show you how easy it is to use even the most basic pieces to give your model a sense of this flowery wonder. Because as long as you create a wonderful little base that goes around and around, you have the ability to create a flower even out of common elements. Let's take a look out in the wild at some amazing Lego creations. So here we are at Brix Cascade 2022, our Lego convention, for the first time in 2 years, and I thought I would really quickly show you a couple of other people's builds that are exemplary of the ability to make awesome flora out of Lego. So let's take a look down here. We have some amazing builds here by Eric Landrenau. These alien flowers are so cool. I just couldn't help but get to share some of this incredible work with y'all because it's unlike anything I've ever seen. So we're checking out these alien extraterrestrial flowers by Eric Landrenau here. And let's take a look at some others across the room. Here we have another lovely garden with a bunch of colorful brick-built flowers using some of those awesome parts out of that new botanical set They're just so good for creating your own builds. We have this super cool no water necessary build by Christy and Nikki, and it uses some of the amazing techniques we've been checking out today. Lots of awesome repetition and unique elements. We have the lifeguard floaties here being used for that flower. And they even built the vases at the bottom here, all out of Lego, which just brings a lot of charm to the build and a lot of realism too. Let's go around the hall and take a look at some of the other brick-built flowers. Now I'm here with Eric Madsen and his amazing life-size, wait for it, bathroom model. This is all Lego, and it had some incredible flowers I just had to show y'all. Look at the techniques on those. These are all plate built out through the petals. So he's doing some brick bending there, and they're just gorgeous with all of this plant material down here at the bottom. And again, a brick built container to go with it, along with this just amazing all Lego bathroom creation. Thank you so much for building this awesome thing, man.
Certainly.
You always bring your A game. Let's take a look at some of the other amazing things out in the hall. And we can't leave without talking about the amazing ability of Bionicle to create organic shaping. These flowers, these carnivorous flowers, are so incredible. Let's take a closer look at how they're made. So using some of those same techniques of bar and clip and repetition, but instead using Bionicle shells or elements from the construction system, which is the ball joint connected buildable figures, they created these amazing floral patterns. It really goes to show that with Lego, the sky is the limit when it comes to building, and there is nothing you cannot create. Thanks for joining us here at Brix Cascade 2022, and we'll see you soon. Bye! Awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining me here in the studio today, learning how to build brick-built Lego flowers. If you're striking out on your own and you're making some cool Lego models for this spring, remember that whatever you make is always going to be amazing. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out anytime. Until next time, remember to hit those bricks and play well. Thanks for joining us. Bye!